Hey guys, it's Kay from KS Anonymous, and I am back today with another episode of r/ChoosingBeggars. Don't ever shop here when you come to the market square in San Antonio. This lady who owns this place has butterflies that are right next to her so-called fitting room, a curtain. You physically have to make sure no one is trying on in there. And I mean literally small space. If you ever come by, look at this place. But make sure you don't break anything, because she accuses you like you did it on purpose. No sign in her store says you break, you buy. Yes, she called the officer because I told her is no sign that says you pay, you buy. Started to yell back and say, yes, you have to pay regardless if I have a sign or not. Oh, and as she's telling me, she's on the phone as well. Rude service. And she has her child there. I think she really wants to put those in there so people can break them and pay. I get it. I know it's the market square and so many things are breakable, but why hang it on a small hook right near the dressing room? Move the dang butterflies that are glass. Oh, and to top it off, she had a ladder, a bag full of stuff, and a pillow in there? For a dressing room, aren't you supposed to keep it clean? Oh, and one more thing, I recommend not taking your kids inside the store, because if they break anything or you do, you got to pay. P.S. The officer that showed up, please just quit your job. Shaking my head, because you didn't do nothing about this. Is this how you treat people when they come to the market square? Please share. She doesn't deserve customer service with that type of attitude. She doesn't deserve customer service with that type of attitude. Okay. I love how mad she is about having to pay for things that she broke. And then on top of that, tries to say that things were placed there just so people would break them. You are straight up delusional. I need a ticket. Who's got an extra? Ticketmaster? Ticketmaster does not haggle. Looking for an extra. I might have two for retail and orchestra row C. If I were paying face, I could go through Ticketmaster as suggested above. I only need one and I am looking for a deal. $20, maybe $30 if the seats are good. I love how absolutely, completely, and utterly triggered she is by people suggesting she pays retail for a ticket. Wish I had kept the messages, but a little background. I run a graphic design business on Twitter. I have a good amount of followers and have my regulars and such. Choosing Beggar messaged me and wants to get a banner and profile picture. I give him my prices and he doesn't want to pay. I tell him sorry, I can't do it then, and we stop doing business. A few weeks later, he messages me saying he's been scammed by two people and neither of those people have messaged him back or delivered his graphics, and he wants to know my price for a logo. I go over it and he's reluctant. Surprise, surprise. I took his profile picture, which was a drawn logo on paper. As he said earlier, that was what he would want, but paying isn't really a choice. Now, I don't believe this guy got scammed by two people, as I know the graphics community really well, and to be scammed by two people in a row is really quite rare. But I assume the best, and that he did get scammed. I quickly traced the logo and even threw in a quick profile picture and banner. So this is about $30 of work, but it was thrown together fast, but it was still clean and presentable. I sent it to him, and I got no thank you, nothing. Instead, he made a list of things that needed to be changed or added. I am someone who respects all people, but the second you don't appreciate me trying to help you out, that's where the line is drawn. I told him I'm sorry, but I did it free and I won't be making the changes and he needs to appreciate it. Of course, he replies, "You seem aggravated. I'll leave you alone now." Of course I am. But I had to tell him I'm not, but rather I'm just busy because I don't want to ruin my image. Anyways, I have quite a few encounters with CBs, as this is too common in graphic design. But this story baffled me at how many people think graphic design is easy and anyone can do it. If that's what you think, I'd love to see you do it. Slightly off topic, but I did a lot of layout basically. And a lot of times I was told by people like, oh, I would love to have your job. I would love to do what you're doing. It looks so easy. And I'm just like, I mean, sure, have my job. I'd love to see you do it because it's so easy. This is super last minute, but my friends and I were supposed to get some pictures done together, but the photographer canceled on us with some last minute plans. Is anyone willing to do like a 1-hour shoot tomorrow around 6 p.m. for cheaper and or free? Please message me. We're a fun group of 3 girls and 1 guy who will guarantee you a laugh. So the first time I saw that, I thought that the 3 girls and the 1 guy were guaranteeing the laugh. But I'm starting to wonder if it's the 3 girls and the guy that's there, his appeal is that he can guarantee you a laugh. I mean, sure, I'd want to do an hour-long photo shoot on the fly for a guaranteed laugh. That sounds so worth it. I can't go that low. Please? So can I get it for 45? That's half my offer, so no. 55? The offer says 90. Can I send you PayPal and you drop it off? So you want to pay me half of my offer and have me drive an hour? Why do I feel like the response to that is going to be a completely and clueless yes? Okay, so I worked at a different community college and I worked at the cashier's office and helped with inbound phone calls. The phone call went like this. Your total tuition is $1,305. Would you like to pay over the phone or online? I play baseball. You can double check that I'm on the team. Oh, okay. Are you saying you have a scholarship? No, I don't need one since I get my tuition waived. Does your parent work for a district name? If so, your parent would have to come by in person to fill out the tuition waiver request? No. You're not listening to me. I'm an athlete. I play baseball? Athletes in Arizona automatically get their tuition waived since it's so hot. It's the law. Sir, that is not true. Your tuition is $1,305. Yes, it is. My friend had his tuition waived at a completely different school in a different district. Your friend is probably on a scholarship or doesn't know what he's talking about. I've worked here for years and never came across this law. Your tuition is still the same. Now, would you like to pay over the phone or online? This is bullcrap. You'll be hearing from my lawyers. I'm getting the entire district shut down. It's been almost 2 years and we have yet to be shut down. I almost feel like someone was being really sarcastic or just pulling a really dumb joke on this kid, and he honestly believed that it was the law that his tuition would be waived for being an athlete in a hot state. Oh my. No, you just told me it would work for AT&T and now you're saying it's not. What? I never said it wasn't AT&T. It says in the description it is for AT&T. Sorry, wrong message. No worries, was just confused. LOL, have a good night. So you won't do 220, man? That's only 30 lower. Then if we use that logic, that's only $30 more. If you don't have the money, then sorry. Have a good night. Jerk. I love how when you don't comply to their completely random demands, that somehow you end up being a jerk or other choice words. This happened earlier today. I had dropped my daughter off at an event and had about 90 minutes to kill, so I decided to head one town over to pick up a few geocaches that have been taunting me. After my second cache hunt, I parked across the street from a little bodega to see where I should try my luck next. As I'm going through the nearby geocaches on my phone, I noticed a man begging for money from passers-by outside of the bodega. I found a likely cache, then decided to buy a bottle of water at the bodega. Sidebar, I drive a 2010 Chrysler 300C all-wheel drive. I inherited the car from my mother when she passed away in December 2017. It's not the type of car that I would buy for myself, but it runs well and I have few complaints about it, so I drive it. I left my car, crossed the street, and sure enough, the guy asked me for some money for some food. I was feeling generous and it was a nice day, so I reached into my wallet and handed him a $5 bill. Given the neighborhood, the odds were good that he'd use it for drugs, but whatever. I went inside, bought my water, and left. As I walked out, the man stopped me. "Hey brother, you have anything else for me?" "Excuse me?" "I mean, you must have lots of money, driving that big car of yours." "Didn't I just give you $5? "Yeah man, but that's chump change. I'll bet you got plenty more on you right now." I casually take a step back. "So you'd rather have something other than the $5 I gave you?" "Yeah, how about it?" I smiled. "Sure thing." Pulls out wallet. "Where's that 5 I gave you?" He hands me back the $5 bill. I take the bill. "I don't know what I was thinking. I'm so sorry." I put the $5 bill back into my wallet and pocket it. "Have a great day." And with that, I turned and went back to my car. I was about halfway across the street when the guy started yelling at me. I turned and waved, more to make sure he wasn't chasing after me than to goad him on. But he just stood there yelling racist comments at me. By the time I got in my car and pulled away, he was standing on the street cursing me out. I waved and left. You know, honestly, where I live, $5 is a pretty generous donation to give to some random person. You've gotta be really an interesting person to stop someone and demand that they give you more money just because you think they're rich by the car they drive. Like, seriously? Come on, man. Looking for an MUA in LA that would want to work together frequently in exchange for an abundance of promo. Wanting to get my makeup done more often for simpler stuff, work. You can also use my face to try out new looks and be your canvas for your Instagram. We can always try new stuff. Looking for someone available, a lot, flexible, willing to accept mainly promo as compensation. If you didn't notice, this post was actually by Tana Mojo. If you don't know who that is a YouTube influencer who has 4 million subscribers, and she's asking for a makeup artist to do her makeup for free. This is one instance where I think that she has a little more value, perhaps, in saying exposure, because a lot of places are like, oh, I have like 100 subscribers, I'll give you some exposure. But she is a highly recognizable person, and if someone could actually like fix her face up real nice, I'm sure people would pay attention. But at the same time, at her status as a YouTuber, she has a lot of money. And it's quite frankly insulting to ask someone to do your makeup for free because you can't figure out how to do your own makeup and you don't want to pay someone. So I'm in college and frequent a local 24-hour chain diner. Their food is pretty good for the price, and I always go late at night, between midnight and 3 a.m., because I'm a night owl and it's usually quiet there and it provides a more relaxing dining experience than during the day. Usually. I'm in there again after a late night studying session before exam week, and in comes the choosing beggar. I've only just sat down at the booth and ordered some water and my favorite burger. CB makes to sit down at the countertop on one of the stools, but the server stops them and points out the sign on top of the stool that says "Do not use." Why can't I use it? I always sit here. It's coming loose from the floor. If you sit down, it'll probably fall over. So fix it. We don't have any tools for that. Some people are coming in to fix it to the floor better over the weekend. You can take any other seat in the house. Me and CB are literally the only people in the entire restaurant. If I can't sit in my favorite spot, I want a discount. We don't give discounts for that, sir? Please just sit down in another seat. But I can't watch my car from other seats. It's so late tonight. I don't want someone to break in. The full front of the restaurant is all windows. You can see the parking lot from any seat. The two discuss it a bit more before CB finally sits down in another stool at the counter. The server takes his order and takes it back to the kitchen. After she leaves, CB gets up and tries to sit on the broken stool, not even taking off the piece of paper, marking it as unusable. It, of course, tips over as he shifts his weight onto it and the CB falls onto the floor. The stool doesn't come all the way off the floor and just makes a bit of a squeak, so the CB is able to reaffix it and sit back down in the stool right next to it. The staff doesn't seem to notice what happened, and CB sheepishly asks for his order to go instead and leaves. I told the server what happened after he left, and we had a good chuckle. I love how they tried to demand a discount for not being able to sit in that particular stool, and then wanted to try to see if they could sit on it anyway. Oh my goodness, it's really funny. That they fell on the floor and ended up leaving. At least they didn't try to say like it was somehow the server's fault for them falling on the floor. Well, growing up, my dad was one to always pick up people on the side of the road and give them a nice meal, fresh clothes, etc. Never money though, for obvious reasons, so I was naturally inclined to help people later on. I met this guy, he was 14 at the time, and I was 17. Like most people, mind you, I am disabled. I was excited to have a friend who was into what I was, games. Often when I called him about coming over, he was busy. But if I mentioned we would get pizza and drinks, he would then magically be available. If we were going to a theme park, he was always available. Got free tickets through my dad's company he worked for. He often nudged me to rent certain games, certain movies, etc. He was always picky, even though it was my parents or my money being used. At the theater, he wanted only large drinks and only large popcorns. All made how he wanted, not the way I wanted. When we would go out to eat, I would order cheaper meals usually to save money. He'd often order expensive meals and add on shakes, extra sides, and so on. When he would come over and we would have pizza, he would get up early to eat the leftovers and drink the rest of the pop. When my mom would cook, he would eat those leftovers too and raid the fridge. When at an arcade or bowling, etc., he would claim he had no money on him, so I had to pay for everything. And yet the next day, when I talked to him on the phone, he said he was going out somewhere. Places that required money. When I'd rent games from a place that let you rent them one day at a time, he would make sure I kept it for days on end so we, aka really him, could play them more. Sometimes he would stay over a few days. And of course, I was stuck paying for the extra days the game was out. After about a decade of friendship, I finally realized he was just using me. I decided to wait and see when he would call me, since I always had to make the first call, unless he needed something, of course. So days went by, then weeks, then months. After a year, I sent him a message, MySpace or Facebook maybe. He basically told me off, admitting he didn't really care about being friends and that he had nothing better to do, so it's why he would come over when I would spend money. He said often he would only go to events for the free food. I felt so betrayed and annoyed that I was blind to it. Being kind and generous means sometimes you're blind to this stuff. As of this year, I saw a picture of him on Facebook. He still has me as a friend since he left Facebook years ago. And he's living with a bunch of guys, still single, obese, and working at fast food places. I don't wish him anything bad, but a decade of being used makes you feel abused. I also now am cynical of those who ask for help now. But I still give in often, because I love to help. That really gets under my skin, that someone who probably didn't have a whole lot of people to hang out with would get so blatantly used by someone. That's just frustrating, and is a story kind of really of a long-term choosing beggar. I hope that this OP gets some good friends who won't take advantage of him, and that the good things he's put out there for people will come back his way. Anyway, that is going to wrap up this episode of r/ChoosingBeggars. If you enjoyed it, go ahead and drop a like, and I'll talk to you in my next video. Bye!